The afternoon sun beat down on the dusty platform of Willow Bend Depot, turning the wooden boards warm beneath Clara Bennett's worn boots. The train hissed as it slowed to a stop, its whistle echoing across the quiet plains. With trembling hands, Clara stepped down, clutching her single brown suitcase and her bonnet against the wind. She had traveled hundreds of miles from Missouri, guided only by letters and promises from a man she had never met in person, Mr. Henry Wallace, a rancher who claimed to seek a good, honest wife. Her heart fluttered with hope as she spotted him waiting by the fence, tall, lean, dressed neatly in a dark vest and polished boots. She took a deep breath and smiled. "Mr. Wallace?" she asked softly. The man turned, his expression unreadable. "You're Clara Bennett?" "Yes, sir," she said, her voice hopeful. He gave her a long, slow look, from her plain blue calico dress to her calloused hands and road-worn face. His lips thinned. "You look different than your letters made me think." Clara blinked. "I did my best to describe myself truthfully." He frowned. "You didn't mention you were so small. Or that you've got the look of someone who's known work. I wanted a refined woman, someone fit for a man of standing." Her throat tightened. "I can learn, sir. I'm a hard worker, and I came all this way because I believed we could build something together." But Henry Wallace's tone turned cold. "Then you believed wrong. I've changed my mind." The words struck her harder than any blow. Around them, people turned away, pretending not to hear, though their whispers filled the air. The conductor shouted that the train would be leaving soon. Clara swallowed hard, blinking back tears. "I've nowhere to go," she said quietly. "No one waiting back home." Wallace adjusted his hat. "Then you should have thought of that before coming here." He turned on his heel and walked away, leaving her alone in the golden dust. The train pulled out, its whistle wailing like a sorrowful cry across the prairie. Clara stood motionless as the wind lifted her skirt and tears streaked her cheeks. Her hope, the fragile kind she'd guarded for months, cracked like a mirror. And then, from across the platform, a quiet voice said, "Ma'am, looks like that fella don't know what he's missing." She turned. A cowboy stood a few feet away, broad-shouldered, sun-tanned, with kind eyes beneath a weathered hat. He had a calmness about him that settled the air. He tipped his hat slightly. "Name's Luke Tanner. I couldn't help overhearin'." Clara tried to smile through her tears. "Seems I've made quite the scene." Luke shook his head. "No, ma'am, seems you've been treated unfair. But if you'll allow me, I can offer you a bit of help. I've got a ranch west of town. A quiet place. Could use someone to keep things in order, cook, mend, maybe help with the horses. It ain't charity, it's a fair offer." Clara hesitated, torn between fear and the gentle honesty in his eyes. "Why would you help me, Mr. Tanner?" He smiled faintly. "Because sometimes, life drops the right person in front of you at the wrong time. And I reckon you were never meant for that man's home." She looked at him, the dust swirling around his boots, the steady kindness in his face, and something inside her whispered that this was not the end of her story. The sun had dipped low by the time they reached Luke Tanner's ranch. The land stretched wide and free, the tall grass swaying like waves of gold beneath the fading light. A small white house sat near the barn, smoke curling from its chimney. Luke helped Clara down from the wagon, his hand steady beneath hers. "Ain't much," he said modestly, "but it's honest." Clara smiled softly. "It's more than I hoped to find today." In the weeks that followed, she found peace in the rhythm of ranch life, the creak of the barn door, the smell of coffee brewing at dawn, the soft nicker of horses in the corral. Luke worked from sunrise to sunset, but he always made sure to bring her wildflowers, or sit with her on the porch as the stars came out. One evening, Clara sat sewing by the fire when Luke walked in, brushing off his hat. He paused, watching her in the glow of the flames. "You've made this place feel alive again," he said quietly. She looked up, meeting his eyes. "It's your kindness that did that, Luke. You gave me a home when I had none." He stepped closer, his voice deep and tender. "No, Clara, you were always meant for this place, meant for my home, for me." The fire crackled, and tears welled in her eyes, this time not from sorrow, but from the overwhelming warmth of being seen, cherished, and chosen. "I never thought I'd hear words like that," she whispered. Luke took her hands gently. "Then maybe it's time you believed in, meant to be." Outside, the prairie wind sang softly through the grass, carrying the scent of earth and promise. And under that endless sky, two hearts, once strangers, found a forever that neither had dared to dream of.